You know, have you ever felt like you're seeing a movie that nobody else is watching? It's like most people see life as just one thing after another, but some minds, maybe your mind, are tuned to a totally different frequency, a frequency that reveals the hidden patterns connecting, well, everything. In this explainer, we're going to dive into 7 subtle signs that you might just be one of those people.
I mean, really think about it for a second. Have you ever been sitting in a meeting and it suddenly hits you? The conversation you had last week, it's playing out all over again, just with different people. That exact feeling, that little spark of seeing a connection that's totally invisible to everyone else, yeah, that's what we're talking about today. So this slide really breaks it down perfectly. On the left, you've got the standard view, right? Events are just isolated moments happening one after another. But on the right, that's where things get interesting. This is how a different kind of mind works. It's not just seeing the events, it's seeing the invisible threads that stitch them all together. It's a huge shift from just reacting to truly understanding. And that leads us right into our first group of signs. We're calling them the pattern seekers. Now, this isn't about being good at crossword puzzles or anything. It's about seeing the hidden architecture in just everyday life. Does that sound at all familiar to you? Okay, sign number 1 is pattern recognition. So while other people see random dots, a weird comment from your boss over here, a strange decision from a friend over there, your mind is already connecting them. You start to see the repeating behaviors, the familiar dynamics playing out again and again. This quote just gets to the absolute heart of it. Instead of just reacting in the moment, asking, "What was that?" Your brain is constantly pulling up this huge mental map, asking, "Okay, where have I seen this exact setup before?" Everything becomes another clue, another piece of a larger system you're always trying to figure out. And, well, this leads to a pretty strange paradox, doesn't it? The upside is you develop this kind of foresight. You can often sense where things are headed long before anyone else has a clue. But the downside? It's that quiet frustration when you try to explain the pattern you see so clearly and you just get blank stares. It can leave you feeling both totally right and totally alone. So our second sign is all about tuning into a different frequency of information. We're talking about those little microsignals that most people's brains just filter out. A tiny hesitation in someone's voice, a slight shift in how they're standing, a flicker of an expression. To a perceptive mind, that's not just noise. Oh no, that is pure data.
This quote absolutely nails it. The information is always there, literally leaking out of us in every single interaction. But only a perceptive mind is actually tuned in to catch it. It's like you have a high-resolution camera for human behavior, catching all the details that are invisible to the naked eye. The advantage of picking up on all that leaked information is this incredible clarity. You can walk into a room and just feel the real mood, even when everyone is putting on a polite smile. The challenge, though, is you can't turn it off. You feel the unspoken tension, the hidden arguments simmering under the surface, which can make just being around people, well, pretty emotionally draining. Okay, so let's shift gears a little. We've talked about observing the world, but now let's get into how your mind processes it. Because for some people, thinking isn't just something you do. It's a constant background hum. It's the default state of your mind. And that brings us to sign number 3, continuous thinking. Now, this gets mistaken for anxiety all the time, but it's usually driven by something else entirely: curiosity. Your mind doesn't just file away experiences, it unpacks them. It replays conversations, explores all the what ifs, and analyzes motives long after everyone else has completely moved on. This is such a powerful way to look at it, right? It's not about being stuck in the past. It's about this deep, innate need to understand the structure of what just happened. Every interaction becomes another piece of this giant puzzle, and your mind just feels compelled to figure out how it all fits. So when you're doing all that internal processing, it just makes sense that it leads to sign number 4, a real craving for meaningful conversation. Small talk can feel like a total chore because it's all surface level stuff. What you're really after is the why, the real motivations and experiences that shape how a person sees the world. And when you find that kind of conversation, wow, it is electric. It stops being about following some social script and turns into this shared exploration. Time just disappears, ideas start connecting, and you feel genuinely alive. For you, this isn't a luxury. It's the kind of interaction that feels like coming home. So this different way of thinking and communicating, it leads to a really unique social experience. And that's especially true when it comes to being alone.
Which brings us right to sign number 5, that feeling of being out of place. Have you ever been in a group, you're talking, you're laughing, but there's also a part of you that feels like you're watching the whole scene from a distance? That's because your mind isn't just in the conversation, it's analyzing it. The dynamics, who has the floor, who yields, all the subtle power plays.
And this creates such a strange feeling, this paradox where you're both in the group and outside of it at the exact same time. People might even turn to you for your opinion because they sense you see things differently, but they don't really get how you're seeing it. Now, for most people, being alone means something is missing. No activity, no people, no connection. It's an emptiness that needs to be filled. But for a mind that is always, always on, solitude isn't absence at all. It's presence. And this is sign number 6. It is the space you need to finally process everything, to connect all those ideas without constant interruption, and to let those deep insights finally bubble up to the surface. It's not an escape, it's a vital, necessary part of your whole process. All right, let's bring all of this together with our final sign, which is really about how this way of thinking becomes a kind of superpower. It's that instinct to look past what everybody else just takes for granted. And this is sign number 7, a little 3-step process that is probably second nature to you. A common belief is stated, and while everyone else is just nodding along, your mind immediately goes, yeah, but is that really true? Why do we think that? This isn't about being difficult or argumentative. It's just about a deep, unshakable curiosity. So look, if these 7 signs have been ringing some bells for you, it doesn't mean you're better or worse than anyone else. It just means you're seeing the world through a different cognitive lens, one that's focused on the hidden structures, the subtle details, and the deeper meanings that lie beneath the surface. And here is the most important thing to take away from all of this. What might sometimes feel like a burden, the constant thinking, the sensitivity, that feeling of being just a little out of sync, is actually a profound strength. The ability to see the patterns that others miss is one of the most powerful tools for innovation, for insight, and for real understanding. So we'll leave you with this thought. Recognizing that your way of seeing the world isn't some weird flaw, but a powerful cognitive advantage, well, that changes everything. The only question left is, how are you going to use it?